Hi guys, it's Ksenia. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing a dedicated review on another brand new fragrance. I know I've been doing a lot of these, but what can I say? I mean, at this point, we all know fragrance launches are like one after the other. And I'm honestly kind of happy about it because for a while there, I was buying new releases that sucked. Like you guys saw, I had so many of these dedicated reviews where I was just very underwhelmed. But lately, I've actually been finding some amazing perfumes. And I'm happy to say that this is another one that is here to stay in my collection, and I can't wait to get all into it. So today I'm gonna be reviewing the brand new Carolina Herrera Good Girl Blush Elixir fragrance that just dropped. Now, I know that there is the OG Good Girl Blush, which I was eyeing for a while, and then before I had a chance to buy that one, this new one came out, and I went to go and smell it because I just wanted to see what the difference was there gonna be a significant difference? And after smelling the two side by side, I decided to go for the Good Girl Blush Elixir. I just kind of preferred it, and I'm gonna get into why in this video and the notes and everything. So with all that being said, before we get into it, please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and turn your post notifications on, and let's get started. Okay, so before we get into notes and what it smells like and all of that, let's get into the price point. Unfortunately, this one is not cheap. It is designer, so there's that, but I feel like it's a lot. With each perfume release, especially in the designer world, they're starting to get up to niche perfume prices, and I'm just like, what's going on? I get there's inflation and everything, but I feel like even just a few years ago, a full-size 3.4 fluid ounce fragrance was maybe $120, and that's like a really high-end designer, and now the full sizes are like almost $200. It's crazy. Like, it's not even just a little bit of an increase, it's like a huge jump, and it's really overwhelming, and it kind of sucks because I think as perfumes have become more popular and now there's this whole fragrance community and we all share fragrances because we all have a huge love for them, which I feel like people didn't really talk about fragrances like they do now. Even just like 5 or 6 years ago, I don't think there was many sole perfume reviewers on here. Because fragrance is becoming so big, these companies are really taking advantage of that and just like jacking up the prices like crazy, and it really sucks, but I don't know, what can you do? So this new flanker, the 2.7, which is as high of an amount as this one goes, which is kind of annoying. It doesn't go up to 3.4, so it's not even a full 100 ml bottle, but I digress. The 2.7 fluid ounce retails for $170. Definitely steep. Anyways, obviously as we get lower, they get a little bit cheaper, but still not by much. The 1.7 retails for $140. That's the size that I chose to get because of that price point. I'm like, I really love this, but I'm not about to spend, I mean, by the time you pay for tax, it's literally like 200 bucks. If I wanted to spend $200 on a perfume, I'd get a really high-end, super niche fragrance, not a designer that's like mainstream. Anyways, as you can tell, I'm like very salty about these price points because they're like really annoying me at this point. The 1 fluid ounce for this one is 100 even. So there's the prices. You do with that what you will. So this new Elixir, it's called Elixir, so it's supposed to be more of an amplified version of the OG Good Girl Blush, which I've had my eye on for a very long time because I've been hearing super amazing things about it. Their description on Ulta, it says that the Good Girl Blush Elixir is a sensual, more intense interpretation of Good Girl Blush. So it has a lot of the elements and a lot of the scent of the OG. It's like a very pink, sexy smelling, creamy kind of scent, but it's a lot more intensified, and that is why I decided to go for the Elixir and not Good Girl Blush, because I still got the scent of Good Girl Blush, but this one gives you a little bit more. So especially because I was paying that price point, I'm like, this is just a little bit more bang for your buck. As far as notes, this one has top notes of bergamot, mandarin orange, middle notes of ylang ylang, rose, and base notes of patchouli and vanilla. For as sweet and creamy as this is, I would think there would be something more in here, maybe like a sweet floral of some sort, but there's not really much of that in the notes. The only sweetness that we see here is that vanilla, and don't get me wrong, I definitely smell it, but I feel like it's a lot more sweet than what the notes put out. Oh, this is so freaking good. And another reason why I went for this one and not the OG Good Girl Blush is because the OG Good Girl Blush was great, and I'm not gonna lie, the OG Good Girl Blush had a little bit more sweetness to it, but it almost wasn't like a candy way, which is great. I know it's a really loved scent, but there's something in this one. I feel like it has maybe a tad less sweetness, but not in a bad way, because they've added this really sexy, alluring, seductive sort of feel to this, which made me fall in love with this. And the dry down is what really got me, because although the dry down of the OG Good Girl blush was great, it felt a little bit, in terms of these fragrances, the whole Good Girl line, they're all super sexy fragrances, but I felt like that one, in comparison to this, felt a little bit more juvenile to me. Very pink candy smelling, really great. But you guys know I lean for more of these sensual, sexy sort of scents, especially coming from the Good Girl line. I really wanted it to give me that sex appeal, and this, man-eater all the way. When I got this, I was with my husband, I was also with my cousin, and I made them both smell this, and I actually had the OG Good Girl blush and the Elixir on both my wrists. I had them smell both, and both of them thought that this was just much better. The first comment on Fragrantica for the reviews, after reading this comment, I truly cannot unsmell it, so I do not take credit for this, but this is so true, and I think that's another reason why I love this so much. The first comment literally says, "This smells like the OG blush layered with Jo Malone Scarlet Poppy." When I read that, I was like, I totally get that. And you guys know how I feel about Scarlet Poppy. We already know. It's like the perfume version of Victoria's Secret Velvet Petals times like 100. It's just more perfumey, it's sexy, it's delicious. And I'm getting that for some reason in here, but definitely mixed with a lot of that OG Good Girl blush DNA. So this is great. I feel like if you have the OG Good Girl blush, this is different enough to where it doesn't feel like you're just wasting your money. So if you're thinking about this, I highly recommend that you maybe get a sample, go in store and smell this. This is out in pretty much like every department store. It's at Ulta, it's at Sephora, Macy's, Dillard's, it's everywhere. So you can definitely easily get your nose on a tester and just see, feel this out, smell the OG, smell this, and let me know what you guys think. Tell me if you agree, and let me know if you do love the OG Good Girl blush. I know that fragrance has a huge fan base. I found out about the Good Girl blush from a TikTok, and I've actually seen a lot of TikToks since that video, and people say it's a really greatly complimented scent, and I totally get that with this one as well, because like I said, my husband loves it. It's a little bit newer in my collection, so I haven't really worn it out too much to see if I would get compliments from anybody else, but I totally see this as a compliment getter. And once it's totally dry, I mean, when you freshly spray this out, you get that sweet, creamy, almost like this pink candy feel in here. But once this one specifically dries down, there's this muskiness, which is like the best type of muskiness I've ever smelled. The patchouli in here is very mild. It just kind of plays up with the vanilla really well, but it's not muddy. It's not too much. It doesn't overpower the fragrance at all. It just adds just so much sexiness that the OG Good Girl blush didn't really have that much for me. Although I would say if you do like more of a sweeter scent, then maybe go for the OG Good Girl blush, because I feel like in that one, whether it was the opening or the dry down, you could pretty much always smell the sweetness. And in this, you also always can smell the sweetness, but it's also equally balanced with this sexy, alluring musk that just draws you in. It's absolutely intoxicating. So 10 out of 10, absolutely love. I'm so happy to add another banger in my collection, because it's a whole lot of the same out here. So that concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts on this new fragrance if you've gotten your nose on it. Do you agree with me? Do you not? Leave me all your opinions in the comments down below, and let me know if you think that I should get the OG Good Girl blush, because not gonna lie, I was eyeing it, but once I bought this one, I was like, okay, I don't think I need both, but I don't know. Let me know. That is it for me today. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and turn post notifications on, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.